Nieces, Stephanie and Jerod. Hi, guys.
Hi.
Can you introduce who else is here?
This is Dutch.
And how old is Dutch?
Dutch is almost 5 months.
And that's the sound of my 4.5-year-old Max cupping something in the next room after I asked him to be quiet. It's all lovely. Hey, thank you guys so much for being here.
Thanks for having
and being a part of this. This is so cool.
Yeah.
And now we're going to ask a few fun questions.
Sure.
And see if Dutch wants to kick in. So,
I'm sure he will.
So how did you guys meet?
We met at TMP a little over, what, 10 years ago?
TMP is Tacoma Musical Playhouse?
More than, it'll be 12 years ago. Yes, sorry, Tacoma Musical Playhouse. We met there in 2002, I think.
Wow.
Yeah, 2002. And that makes sense, something like that. Anyway, and I was stage managing a show, and It Was Crazy For You was the show. And Jerod was in it. And we were good buddies for a couple of years before the magic happened.
Oh. All right, so let's talk about the magic.
Well, actually, the first time I ever... This sounds cliche, but it's true. The first time I saw Steph, I was intrigued. And the first time I went out with Stephanie, even just... I think we went out for karaoke or something like that. I was like, I'm going to marry this woman. It just took her about 4 more years to figure that she wanted to marry me.
You gotta think about it.
So when was... Okay, let's talk about that. That's fun. So when was that moment, that one big moment, that one moment where you said, you know what, I want to get to know Jerod more than just buddies?
It's so funny because we've actually been celebrating our anniversary this whole weekend. Yep. We've had multiple dates for various things, and he asked me the same question, and I couldn't tell him. I'm not really sure exactly when it went from. Well, actually, I do know when it went from good friends to. Maybe more than friends. We definitely recall those moments, but when it took a leap into something more serious, I couldn't tell you. I'm not really sure what that moment was. It was probably pretty fast, just because, you know, when you know somebody that well, when you're really good friends for several years before you even date, you know them so well. It's,
wow.
You know, then you just you're already halfway there. When you do start dating.
You guys just have natural transitions then.
Yeah.
Well, the hard part with that, too, though, is we knew way too much about our previous relationships when we got together, though. So,
yeah, because we used to tell
the
each
dirty
other things.
details.
We used to share things about our significant others.
Well, that kind of set out a
stories.
thing for like the things you didn't want to continue.
It was
so
helpful.
But
Steph and I used to double date. And, just a couple times. Mm-hmm. And our significant others, it was like they disappeared. We would be across from each other at the table, and it was like they weren't even there. It was just us two in the room. So I guess it was just kind of meant to be.
Was there a kapow moment for you, Jerod?
Oh, yeah. Honestly, it was one of the first times that I met her. And it was out. She sang karaoke, and her voice just... It was nice. It was a good moment for me. I was like, I'm going to marry this woman.
You're one of our few musical couples. That's what I think. You guys are best known for doing musicals and doing musicals together. So, and let me ask one person before the other. Can you describe, Jerod, your first date? And who asked who?
Ooh.
No, I can't. I was dating her, in my opinion, long before she knew it. I can't remember.
It was such an interesting beginning too.
Yeah.
You know, it was so like, what are we dating? Is that what we're doing? Or what are we? So I think that's why it's hard to describe exactly when that was. When it was a date and not just hanging out, I guess.
Yeah, it was kind of a... I don't know.
The kapow moment that's interesting is actually physically identifiable. Tacoma Musical Playhouse is doing Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat right now.
Big weekend for that.
Yeah, and it's a 10-year anniversary for them, and it's a 10-year anniversary for us because it was during that show.
I saw the picture online today.
Wow. Wasn't that amazing?
I can see why you went kapow, Stephanie. Yeah.
Oh, right?
Uh-huh.
Oh, I wish I had those abs.
Oh, you in a loincloth. But it was pretty
Are you
funny.
bringing the loincloth back this weekend?
Yeah, absolutely. What? Come on.
I don't know if that fits anymore, to be totally honest. And if it does, it's not pretty.
Well, so he actually elbowed me in the face on stage 10 years ago during that show, and that's kind of when it took a violent shove from friendship to love.
Yeah.
Wow.
Let me give you a little bit more.
I hope so.
It was an accident.
You can't leave it at that.
It was an accident.
So, if you know Joseph, there's a scene in that show where Joseph is a slave to Potiphar, and Stephanie's character is one of Potiphar's servants. I was playing Joseph at the time, and she was in a freeze. And to this day, I swear, you guys were in the wrong place. It was not my fault.
Whatever.
But so I would always fall backwards to like empty space, and instead Stephanie's face was there, and so I elbowed her right in the lip, and it was
You could hear an audible gasp
the
from the audience.
yeah the audience was like whoa. So Stephanie had to essentially stay in a freeze through the rest of that scene with a bloody lip, and then power out the finale of Act 1 too with a big fat bloody lip.
It was
Wow.
so cool.
Yeah, and so to add insult to injury, it was a matinee show, and we decided to go to a friend of ours' pool. He was having a pool party, and so I thought I would.
Oh yeah, cast party over there.
Yep. I thought I would have a peace offering, so I brought you flowers, didn't I?
Oh.
You did?
Yep, I brought her flowers, and at this point we were really good friends. Although, like I said, I was kind of already dating her in my head. So anyway, I was like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe this! I just, she's never going to go out with me because now she's got a big fat face." And so I bring her flowers, and then we're playing in the pool. We're playing water polo.
Oh no.
Yeah, you know what's coming next, don't you? So I go to shoot on the goal, skips off the water, hits her right in the face. So within the same day, I basically just bruised her.
Yeah, so we do joke to this very day that he better not hit me again or I might change my mind.
Yeah. Yeah. So something, I don't know, I must have jolted something in her head, because ever since then, we've been together.
Well, one last question, because I think we're pressing our luck with Dutch and with Max. Let's see if we can do this. On your wedding day. Mm-hmm. There you go. Mm-hmm. Now, I've been asking the guys what the moment was like when their brides first appeared. Mm-hmm. Now I'm going to ask Stephanie what it was like when she came around the corner and there you were looking at the aisle and him at the end of it.
Oh, it was so gorgeous. The whole picture, it just was. And, I think, what's so funny is that I think I felt that the pictures I look back on of me at the time when I was walking down the aisle toward him, they are the very picture of how I felt. And it was this grin where I think the entire day I had this grin going, where I had like all of my veins just stretched in my neck, where I was so just ear to ear thrilled.
That's wonderful.
And it was such a beautiful day, and I was so happy, ear to ear, grinning, and walking down there and having him and my really, really good friends, and it was so beautiful outside, and our friends and family down there. It was such a perfect day.
Well, thank you so much for coming up on your anniversary weekend and for bringing Dutch and for coming over to our house and doing this. So come and join them on their date. On their date in August. It's a special night for them. So come and see them at the Lakewood Playhouse. Thanks again, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dutch. And we'll see you in August.
All right.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.